check out the new Deviation ballistic. Version 2.3. Look at that camber profile. Look at that early rise. These are beautiful skis. I'm super stoked to have helped develop this ski over a few years. And they've turned out to be really fun and really playful. Follow along and learn how to mount your own skis, save a bunch of money, and learn a new skill. Here are some of the tools that you'll need to mount skis: a posi drive screwdriver, a drill, wood glue, a hammer, center punch, pen, masking tape, some rulers, and your binding templates. These you can print out online. They're pretty easy to find. These are for an FKS, as you can see here. Look pivot as well. The only thing you need to make sure 100% before you drill into your skis is make sure your scale for when you print, make sure that it is the length that it tells you. If not, you need to adjust the scale on your printer. Other than that, this sweet, awesome drill bit is what you need. It's 3.5 by 9, exactly what you need to drill into skis. Most skis, you need to make sure your markings on your skis say so. Mine says drill depth of 9 mil, so we're good. But this thing's tapered off so that whenever you drill down far enough, it stops you from going too far. So first I start out by cutting off the extra paper around the template, and then you have to figure out the boot sole length in millimeters of your ski boot and cutting the paper to that number on the template so that your holes for the bindings are in the right spot, so your bindings can be adjusted to your boot correctly. Next, you take a big long piece of masking tape and you put it down the length of the ski in the middle. You also have to put a piece of tape across the center line of your ski. If your ski is not already marked with the center line, you may have to measure your ski and then flip it around and measure it again and find a center. Now, because that piece of tape that marks center, you can take a pen and trace along the center line. This marks the center of the ski. This is where you want the center of your boot to come out to. So make sure it is dead center of the ski. So this next step is very crucial. You have to be very precise on this or your bindings are going to be mounted on crooked. So we are finding a center line on the ski. So right now I'm measuring the width of the ski and trying to find the center and marking that. You need to mark about 3 marks on the ski to really find out center, and then you trace those points and make a center line down the ski. It's very important to double check your measurements by just flipping the ruler around and take as many measurements as possible. So now that we have done all those and checked to make sure that the lines are straight down the ski, we can put the template on the ski, and we want to line those up with the center of the ski lengthwise and center of the ski widthwise. When you're putting on each of the binding templates, you want to make sure that they butt up to each other very well and that the arrow that points to the ski tip is going to the front of the ski. Next, we take the center punch and hammer and put the center punch in the middle of the X's where the binding holes are meant to be drilled, and hammer it so that you leave an indent in the top sheet of the ski. You want to do this with somewhat of force to leave a big enough indent that you can put the drill bit in there so it doesn't wander on you when you're trying to drill straight. If this is your first time mounting bindings with a paper template, please disregard what I'm doing right here. You should print out another set of templates so that you have precise markings to center punch. Since you just use these plates on the other ski, the center mark is punched out of it. I'm doing this because I've done hundreds of mounts and I know exactly where the center of the holes are. So now that you have everything center punched, you can take the tape off, and the next part is the fun part, also the scary part, also the part where you can drill holes through your skis if you're not good, but luckily we have this awesome special drill bit. So here we go. You just have to put the drill bit into the center punch you just did, make sure the drill is vertical, and you put force straight down. You want to make sure that the drill bit is on the fast speed. You don't want to drill too slowly or you'll chunk out the inside of your ski. Once you drill out all 8 holes and then you do the other 8 holes on the other ski, you want to flip your skis over and knock out the shavings that might have stayed inside the ski. Now once you drilled out your holes, you can take some wood glue and pour it into the holes to make a secure bond to the screws once you screw those in. Next step is to take your bindings and put it over the holes you just drilled and filled with glue, and take a screwdriver and screw them into your ski. You want to make sure that you put a lot of downward pressure so that the screw thread bites into the wood and doesn't strip out. If your hands do not hurt after you screw bindings on, you did them wrong. This is a very tough process because when you drill a hole in your ski, you actually drill it much smaller than the screw that is going in it so that it holds to your ski. And when you're screwing the screws into the ski, you want to switch out screw every so often. You want to sink one screw in a little bit, then sink another screw, and then get them all 4 in before you actually crank down on them. You don't want to go too crazy. You want it to come to a snug stop at the end. If you feel a screw keeps on spinning, you probably stripped out the hole and is not good. Once you have the toe pieces screwed on and glue in the heel piece holes, you can put the look pivot heel piece on. I start with the front 2 holes because the brakes cover up the back 2 holes. So I always do this on the edge of a counter or edge of a table. And I screw in the front 2 holes, and then I put pressure on the brakes to get to the back screws, and then I screw those ones in. But I screw all 4 in before I tighten down on any of them. Now that we have our bindings on our skis, you want to test fit your boot. So you put your boot in the bindings, and then you have to adjust your forward pressure, which would be the pressure on your toe piece to keep you in your ski. So you can see I'm pushing up the binding, finding the 2 adjustable screws on the heel piece of the look pivot and making it tighter or looser depending on where the white bar is underneath the binding compared to the lines. once you set forward pressure on a ski binding, you then have to adjust the DIN setting, which is the setting that you pop out of your skis at. Unfortunately, I did not record that because my bindings were already set to that. So look it up for your height, weight, and age and ski level on the internet, and you'll find your number.
Damn, these things are beautiful.
And just like that, we're all finished, ready to hit the slopes. Beautiful pair of skis with some very trustworthy, durable bindings.